In the high-stakes world of international relations, language isn't just about talking. It's a tool with immense power. Every single word, every comma, every carefully crafted phrase, it can either build a bridge or, well, dig a trench. Today, we're going to look at how just one word can literally change the course of history. Just let that sink in for a second. And no, that's not an exaggeration. Not at all. This is the cold, hard reality of global security, where the fate of entire nations can hang on how one single term is defined. Okay, let's really get into this. So think about it like this. In diplomacy, words are chosen with surgical care. Now, being a little vague can be a strategic tool for sure, but it can also be a completely catastrophic error. This is the world of linguistic precision, where every single syllable is weighed against the potential for conflict. So the crucial point here is that linguistic precision is basically the bedrock of international stability. It's all about making sure that when you say, "we're considering it," the other side doesn't hear, "we reject it entirely." And this isn't just about grammar, It's about preventing global crises. To really see just how high the stakes can get, we need to look at one of the most tragic examples in history. We're going back to the final, incredibly tense days of World War II, where a single Japanese word had absolutely devastating consequences. Okay, so here's how it all went down. In July of '45, the Allied powers issue the Potsdam Declaration. It's an ultimatum for surrender. Japan's prime minister responds, and he uses the word Mokusatsu. Allied translators get a hold of this, and they interpret it as a hostile, definitive rejection. And just a few days later, the world changes forever. And this right here, this is the heart of the problem. You see, Mokusatsu can have two wildly different meanings. The Japanese cabinet, they intended to say they were withholding comment while they figured things out. Essentially, we're thinking it over. But to Allied ears, it was translated as to treat with silent contempt. We reject it with scorn. The massive gap between quiet consideration and outright scorn, well, it turned out to be catastrophic. So that was 1945. But does this kind of linguistic high-wire act still even exist today? I mean, you'd think with instant translation apps and global connectivity, these problems would just disappear, right? Well, the truth is, the stakes are arguably just as high. Yep, welcome to the modern diplomatic tightrope. Here in the 21st century, the tiny nuances of language still dictate the course of geopolitics. Everything from tense negotiations to policy statements that are picked apart by the entire world. And you see this playing out everywhere. In a UN resolution, for instance, the difference between urging and demanding could be the difference between a simple recommendation and an authorization for military force. Or in a ceasefire agreement, how you define hostilities can determine whether a shaky peace holds or completely collapses. Here's a perfect modern example for you. When two countries agree to a consultation, they're basically just talking, exchanging info, no real commitment. But agreeing to a negotiation, whoa. That is a massive step. It implies a formal process that's aimed at a binding agreement where compromise is expected. Choosing one word over the other completely sets the stage for everything that comes next. So from the Mokusatsu incident all the way to modern treaty language, the pattern is crystal clear. The precision of our words, or, our failure to use them precisely, has a direct and really powerful impact on global events. I guess this is the real bottom line. The entire architecture of peace, the framework of international law, the prevention of conflict, it all relies on a shared understanding of language. And when that understanding breaks down, well, the consequences can be incredibly profound. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. In our world of 200-character statements, instant news cycles, and automated translations, has our sheer speed of communication actually made us more vulnerable? Are we losing that careful deliberation that linguistic precision requires? And if we are we becoming more at risk from the fatal flaw of a single misunderstood word?